and they're not. I actually was trying to get 10 early customers, and I'm, thankful you guys are in and we got 15. So that was that was more than I expected, which is good. We had 10 by
Yeah,
Friday or Saturday, and then
yeah,
more came in. And I think actually other people were interested, but they didn't realize that CallPlan.AI was a website.
yeah,
They,
yeah.
they're like, "Where's the URL?" Okay, sorry. That's we'll come back on that, but I want to give people a few minutes to if they're going to come in, and then I can kind of get a little more started on how I'm doing this. But uh,
Yeah.
Kristen, just tell me a little bit about what you're doing and your role and what you're selling, and then maybe
Yeah,
Cecilia can do
sure.
the same thing afterwards. We just do some intros.
Yeah, sure. No, thanks for having me. I'm relatively new as a women-owned small business. I've worked in aerospace predominantly for about 25 years and was in firearms for the warfighter for a few. I started this company a little over a year ago. And one of the first things that I started was a consortium, and what we're doing is it's electrodeposition of copper into textiles for the warfighter uniforms to give biometric and communication capabilities. So that was my
Wow.
main reason for kind of starting the business and starting that consortium. I left industry a little over a year ago to just fully go into this. And then I also have the consulting side of the business. We consult in the defense marketplace, taking some ideas, services, and kind of branching over into solutions for the warfighter for defense. And I do some commercial stuff as well. So, but looking to kind of get into more of defense contracting. I've done it for many, many years for companies, and now just looking to do it for a woman-owned small business for services and products
Product side, yeah,
that asides.
perfect. Cecilia,
Well, and hi, Stephen. Welcome. I'm Cecilia. I'm Neil's sister, and I've been in the GovCon space working with him on the marketing and visibility side since 2018. We started with a focus on elevating the visibility to originally hub zones. And then that branched into realizing that they didn't have enough information about positioning themselves to compete more strategically. And so um, Neil is obviously the SME, the GovCon expert for all things tech, but I have been supporting him on social media channels, educational streams, and currently through my company, LinkedIn for GovCon, I work with small businesses that are trying to elevate their visibility on LinkedIn through strategic positioning, reframing of messages, building of communities and posting and that kind of thing. So that's my focus.
That's
awesome.
really great.
Hey,
Much
Stephen.
needed.
Before we get
Good
started,
afternoon,
I was just
everybody.
letting people join and introduce themselves. Thought that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, that sounds good. I can go ahead.
Yeah.
Stephen Oakes with QMS Consulting. I'm the COO of QMS Consulting. My wife and I own the business. We're a small woman-owned small business. Been very fortunate to have found Neil and listening to his guidance and really moving forward in making sure that we have our sales, our pipeline, everything that we need to continue to be a healthy business. That's definitely where we are lacking. So when we saw this opportunity come up for the AI portion, we wanted to take advantage of that opportunity. Our company, I'm going to again take some cues from Neil. We do cyber and cloud. Normally, I would have said we do cyber, cloud, software development, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to focus now on just a couple of what we think are strategic and technologies that are tied together. Of course, everything that we do will have AI. We've been actually looking at AI for quite a few years. So now that it's really mainstream in the government, of course, government takes a little bit longer. Um, we're just happy to be here. Sorry to be so long-winded.
No, no, that was awesome. Long-winded and niche down. That's perfect. Hey, Marco, are you there? Hey, Bill.
Hi, hello.
Hey, hey. you want to do a quick little intro of yourself and your company?
Yes, my name is Marco. So what we do, we are a technology development company that develops customized solutions to fix water intrusion in concrete. So through like basements, expansion joints, hairline cracks, all of this complicated stuff like underground garages, swimming pools. So we basically developed our own technology and we also do the work. So everything is controlled by us. So we developed a material that we call polyvinyl, which is a polymer that is able to turn water into rubber. And as is fluid as water, it is able to travel inside water as concrete and fix only the damaged spots inside on the waterproofing layers. Basically, so that's why we always give at least 5-year warranty for every single work we do.
Hmm.
Well, we are based here in Florida, where we start the company, but we are also in Sydney, Australia, working for the on the tunnels. This is our like basically infrastructure work. But in Florida, we work like cities like for condominiums, associations, and also for like uh, industrial and commercial buildings.
Perfect. And hey, Bill, glad you were able to
Hey,
join
Neil.
us. You want to do a quick intro of yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Bill Pratt. I'm a former Fed, 22 years at Homeland Security, where I specialize. Doing, I guess you could call it fractional business development, but also looking to automate a number of governance compliance processes. I did manage the governance compliance of IT acquisition and engineering at DHS. There's a lot of things we did that I think we can take to other agencies, so I hope to do that. I've also teamed with a couple of young partners who do agentic AI development, so we're looking at a number of tools. So, but I don't want to build things that have already been built. So I'm always interested in great new things. So really excited to join the team here to look at CallPlan.AI.
Appreciate that. Bill, I got to follow back up with you. I was listening to Admiral Jacoby, who runs the acquisition for Coast Guard in DHS. He was talking about how they have 24 billion extra dollars that they were given in the budget. He was like, "Oh my God, we got to do all this hiring and everything." I'm like, "We're there." It's like figure out a way to push in. And I'm also just being candid here on our first call. I'm moving away from any kind of consulting type services at all as I move forward and try to lean into call plan AI and then continue just the free stuff I do all the time. But if you're doing fractional BD and there's any ways for me to make referrals, I'm happy to do that because I think it'd be good for people in the industry who are trying to push out there. So
Thank
let's
you.
definitely follow
I have
back.
to figure out how to scale now. I've just packed my current clients into my week, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So
Oh, charge
anybody
more.
with good thoughts on that? Yeah.
Number one way you do that is just charge more. You'll find a 20-hour day and in a or 20-hour week in a good business. It's my number one advice to federal government people who are coming out in this year with all the transition. Charge a lot because you're not charging by hour, you're charging by decade for
Right.
your experience. I mean, pretty much everybody on this call recognizes what I'm saying. You're not
Mhm.
paying me for an hour of my time, you're paying me for 30 years of whatever I've been doing. So
Exactly.
Much
cool.
appreciated.
So let me first again, let me say thanks very much for being early users in here on Call Plan AI. I'm really excited about the direction I want to take it. I've been teaching this to people for the last 8 years. I've been doing it for the last 20 or 30 years myself. Just how do you get in? How do you start having those first meetings that lead to second meetings? And in government contracting, that's where people have the biggest problem. Just 1,000 people will help you find opportunities and find or write proposals, but that middle spot going back, Stephen, to your point, is me niching down. Like going forward, it's like I want to niche down even better and better. So, Call Plan AI is the way I'm going to be able to do that, and also be able to help as many people as I can. The idea of this call for me, first off, it always ends at 3:30. So if you come to my 12 o'clock things, I'm very good at going, all right, time's up, we're out, kind of thing. Um, I like to keep it a hard stop. And the idea of this daily call, from my perspective, and I plan on doing this forever, is because I don't think people do that. And I don't know why, because you can hear feedback, et cetera. But early on, in particular, I want to get feedback. What are you doing? What are you running into? What questions do you have? It'll help me make the tool better. So
Mm.
that's one half of this, or one part of this. And the other is if you're going to be using the tool and you're trying to have meetings, figure out that part, prepare for a meeting, or do some after action review on a meeting, I want to be able to take advantage of this time and just have you come in and ask questions, etc. So, so if you let me be a little bit more selfish early on in the call, and then I'll move forward. First thing I just wanted to ask is, do you all have access like into the tool and you're able to get in? Is the first thing.
I do, but I found the first bug, so when you get ready, let me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exact. Thanks, Bill. Throw that right at me.
Well, I mean, it was when I tried to join this meeting from within the tool. And so I
Okay.
went to inside the tool, I clicked the button, and it came up and said, um, the meeting's scheduled for 2 p.m. for one thing. And it also, now, well, you're not, I think you're on this coast and you're on the East Coast, I think. Anyway, it
Yeah.
says meeting scheduled for 2 p.m. and the next meeting is on Wednesday. And so I
Yeah.
thought that was just an error. And, but then I sent you a note and said I wasn't in at all. So that's something to check on.
Yeah, perfect. Actually, you get second bug. Yesterday, somebody told me they're like, "Hey, how do I reset my password?" I'm like, "I don't know. Hold on." I had to
There.
develop the whole process to reset the password. I'm like, but that's what I love about AI. I'm in heaven now because I'm a project manager and I'm a business analyst. I'm a business person with good IT chops. And now I don't have to turn to the developer to build my stuff for me. And so I'll fix that as soon as we're done. But thanks, got that. Actually, anybody else run into problems? And Bill is knows me and is comfortable with me on this, and I hope all of you become comfortable. Anything you say is like one of those things where there's no such thing as a stupid question. We all are asking it. Nothing you say is going to be bad. If it's not working, I definitely want to fix it. And if it's a feature type thing or something you want, then I definitely want to explore this because I want this to be really valuable to you as you go forward.
Yeah, my apologies, Neil. I don't know if you sent credentials out, but I either I didn't see it, and that's possibly my fault. But I
No,
noticed
it
I know you
literally,
sent a message to me and said, "Hey, I'm not ready yet," so I don't know if you sent anything out.
yeah. No, so if you can go in right now to CallPlan.AI,
Okay,
and up on the top right hand side it says login. And when you get to that, you should see something that says reset my password.
gotcha.
Try that with your email address and then let me know how that's going right now.
Sounds good.
And then uh, and so feel free to interrupt me as we're just going along. The so going forward, one of the first things I did out of the gate was I came out earlier. This is a tactical decision to come out with a minimal viable product to be able to engage users like you, so that I can start one making sure that what I have works, and then I start building on it. Um, so right now I was working on the little things, like for example, do I have the correct Zoom link? Do I have the ability to reset a password? To Steven's point, before the person who asked me about the passwords, Mike, I didn't even have a way to say thanks for joining. Here's an email. I was like, okay, let me build that really quick, and so I can react really fast, which is exciting. Um, but you'll see some of these things. So if anything pops into your head, just keep throwing them out. The next feature that I want to do, and actually, I was going to take a minute to walk you through the tool, just what we have so far, and then and coming out of this, I want to know if when's your next meeting. Especially early users, I want to be able to participate. Um, but actually, Stephen, were you able to do that or?
Yep, I'm on my way. I'm good to go. Thank you.
Oh, cool. Tell me if that whole process works because it's something I check right off the box. Okay, so let me find the tool here, and let me share my screen really quick. Am I sharing my call plan screen?
It's coming up. There we go. Got it.
Okay. And I think I'm sharing everything, so nobody private message me. 'Cause on Zoom, I haven't figured out how not to do that, but that's a separate bug. Um, Okay, so in here, there's the functionality that's in there at the moment is the dashboard. This is where, as you have call plans, they'll be in here and they'll sit. And I'll continue to evolve this as we go along. One of my initial plans is to have uh, basically old and current call plans in two different tabs. That way you're not stuck with seeing everything. Um, and then I just noticed here that they're not sorted by meetings. So you're seeing the upcoming meeting next and not the oldest one. And then, so that's the dashboard. In the dashboard, you're able to come in and view the dashboard. And I just want to watch my time so I manage it correctly. So inside of the dashboard, this is the view format at the moment. I'll eventually have more features as we just keep adding them. For example, if you want to export it to PDF to print and take to a meeting or something like that. But in here, and I don't actually have a really filled out call plan at the moment, but I broke it into sections. And the reason I did this, and I'll go show you how I'm adding this. Um,
So thank you.
awesome. Okay, so here's the uh, it's like uh, and Cecilia, do you have? Let me make you co-host really quick, so then you can let people
So I
in.
can admit people. Yeah.
Yeah, please. There you go. Okay, thanks. So one of the things I really like about
Wait
this,
a
and I'll come
minute,
back and talk
Neil,
more. What?
you made Stephen co-host? Or you made me co-host?
Well, I might have made Steven co-host. Steven, would you let people in?
Sure.
Again,
Glad
my
to help.
second meeting will be so much better than my first meeting. Um, anyways, one of the things I really liked about this is the view, and I'm going to show you creating a new one. But two really important features I like about this is that you got this stuff that's in here, and the icebreaker, I'll talk more about it, but this ability to drag and drop the sections is what I really liked. So if I get to the point in the meeting where I'm really now going in, I'm asking the questions, I don't need anything else. I might actually want my objectives sitting up there, and then I've got my questions. But this ability to reshape it around is pretty cool. And then if I go back to the dashboard and I come back in, I don't know if this is the same one, but it resets it back to the standard format. So I like that. That one's pretty handy. And the other one and the call plan is for me, I'm doing mostly virtual meetings. And so I can have this up while I'm talking and just be typing in notes as I go along. And just the save button down at the bottom will allow me to save it. And so we're tracking on that. That's a good early version of where we're at. I've got a lot of ideas of where I want to take this so that, frankly, AI can be recording the meeting and giving you real-time feedback of what you could do, but that'll go a little farther. Um, so that's the view. And again, feel free to interrupt me if you've got thoughts or questions as I go.
Well, can
Um,
I ask one thing real quick then, Neil?
yes.
So we got a ton of contacts. Is there going to be a way to import those and then using your tool to fill out the details on them that we may not have? I am looking for one best tool to manage my contacts and recurring contacts. And another thing is I've been asking about forever to my own teams, like something to remind me once a week. It's my hot lead or current client, call this weekly, or
Yeah.
maybe my warm leads call every 2 weeks, for instance.
Let me, Bill, let me follow back up. Yeah, I wrote it down as definitely something in the backlog and something I definitely want to do.
Sure.
The uh, so the question around having contacts, I don't so I've been a sales guy a long time and I've been doing CRM tools and frankly I hate all the extra features that are always in there. And so
Yeah.
when I build something out, I really want to be careful of giving people reasons to not call a customer because they're so busy managing. But I do have a CRM button, for example, and at the moment it's the minimal stuff. But I would explore with all of you. It's like, hey, what's a good thing? We can put all sorts of dashboards, but what you described about functionality, 100% we can do that. 100% we can remind it because in technology you can do anything. I built hundreds and hundreds of applications within the government, and the lesson I taught all of them was be selfish when you're asking for something. I want a feature to be able to remind me to call John or something, and so then it's up to IT to figure it out. And with AI now, you can build anything
Right.
fast. So we'll come back to that. Um, hey, Michael, I see you in there. There you go.
Well,
Um, we're rocking and rolling. Oh, one other thing I'll say to everybody is that even though it's we start 3 and we end at 3:30, I'm recording these, and my thought, and you you can give me your first thoughts on this. My plan is to just put this up on the site for users, so you can come back after the fact, sort of like my LinkedIn replays. But here you can see, did we talk about a new functionality? Did people ask questions or something that could be helpful? And you can watch it at 5 speed or something.
Mhm.
Hey, Neil, can I respond to that? Can
Yes.
you can besides the video, if you can pull out the AI functionality, just like what were the 5 key things talked about? So, because Zoom
Uh,
will just spit that out.
yep.
And I'm fine with that. I don't know if we can take a voice vote or whatever, but no problem.
Yeah. I'll just let you speak for everybody. Sounds good. I'm very good into Congress, right? Without objection, we'll take that. Um, okay, so I got like 8 minutes left. By the way, one time only, because you guys are so great. I'll stay later if you've got questions about your own meetings and you were hoping to be able to ask that. Um, so I want you to go through and use this on your own. I'm not going to spend a lot of time uh, showing you today, but I do. It's funny. See this thing here where it filled in automatically? I noticed that this morning, so I quickly went, figured out how to get rid of that, and now nothing's going to be pre-filled. Like, our autofill on our browsers and things like that. I'm getting rid of that because most call plans, you don't need an autofill. Um, as you come down, I wanted to point out a couple of things. I'm using these pop-up information as a way to, say, hey, here's what the information is. And I'm
Mhm.
a believer of putting information even where it's the most obvious spot, like, oh, so I put a date here? Yes, you do. But I've got videos on every one of them, these little red icons. And so if you click on the icon, pops up a little mini unlisted YouTube video out there. Why you want to have date and time. And it walks through why you want to use date and time, and then why you want to use attendee stuff, whatever. So every one of those fields, and especially I'm going to keep coming back on the training side of call plans because it isn't just a piece of paper or an agenda. It's the way to control the meeting to go in the direction that works for you and works for the other person. Um, so you'll see some of this. Um, if I come back really quick and you see like Molly McGuire's the main point of contact, hopefully I got two people here. If I come in, I can change the primary. And if I hit back, now it's Ronald Jones, right? So I can see that information changing. Um, and that's in that particular field. Uh, And then actually, I'm just going to go to the edit. It's the fastest way to show both new and edit because I think you'll get it. Um, but so in here, just some basic information. I'm a big fan I use the call plan all the time as a way to keep anybody who's going to the meeting, especially from my team, on the same page. We all know what's going on. So we've got a lot of different information in there. And you can keep adding as many attendees as you want. When you add an attendee, to Bill's earlier comment, it goes into the CRM. It's the very basic CRM at the moment, but it's tracking that kind of information. If I change it, let's say this person here, Molly, I change it to specialist. At the bottom, there's a save button, but if you hit the back, it's kind of the same as save. If I hit it, it comes up and says, hey, in your CRM, you're saying it's a contracting officer, but here you're saying it's a specialist. Did you want me to update the CRM or not? So little things like that I try to put in place. So let me say update and come back in. And then coming down, the purpose of the call, you can watch the videos. And if you've seen my training, you'll see a lot of that. And I'll put a lot more training in if that's helpful to you. These are standard fields, I hope, but I wanted to point out the spin questions. My sales methodology is around spin. And so spin stands for situational questions, which are facts that you find somewhere else, but if you can't, you can ask them. Problem questions, which are typically, let's say, the program office, and then implication questions. These are problems that the program office has, or customers have. So if it's the IT department that has a problem with their servers, the implication question is, well, also HR is impacted by that problem. And so I try to teach that in there. This is a great way when we're in a meeting to be able to explore the problem with the person we're meeting with and also find out who else has the problem as we increase the severity of the pain they might feel, et cetera. Needs payoff, we'll come back to talk another time, but that's basically around the solution, the benefits. And so the way I have it set up at the moment, phase one, is I've got some stock questions, and frankly, this was my early questions a month ago, and or when I started this, and I'm going to come back and refine every one of these to a standard set of questions. I'm also going to implement AI questions that can look at the type of meeting you're having and suggest questions you might want to ask. And I'll work on that like over the next month, 2 months. I'll get really good at those kind of questions. And then the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the questions. So here I'm just going to select two more, let's say. Um, when I add them, they added them to the bottom of the list here. I'm going to watch what questions are being asked so that I can start saying, hey, this is kind of a popular question. And I might start reshifting the questions that you have here in a way that the most popular ones are at the top. Um, that's a little bit of a loaded thing because we're all going to have different meetings. And the minute we have, let's say, 100 people, 100 different meetings kind of thing,
Hmm.
that'll be a little bit different. That's why I need the AI because I'd rather suggest 10 questions to you. By the way, the um, the idea of selected questions, you generally want about 7 to 10. Anything more than that, you've got way too much for a single meeting. Even if it's an hour meeting, it's just way too much because the idea of these questions is to guide you in the discussion, not be interrogating the person. And so I'll teach a lot more about that as we go along and as I refine the tool inside the new form and the edit form, if you go through, you could reorder these. So if I say number 7 should be the first question I ask, drag and drop, and I can do number 1 on it. By the way, if you're curious, I built this entire thing using ChatGPT as my senior developer. I just
Hmm.
kept saying, I want to be able to drag this up and reorder it. I dragged it up the first time it didn't reorder. I'm like, that's no good. Come on, developer, help me. And this ability, I love to tell you guys about this because the functionality that people can do now in any of our businesses is staggering. Okay, so that's basically the new form. I'd love for you to go in and explore. That was the edit in the new form, but I'd love for you to go in and explore it. By the way, if you keep seeing this drop down, that's my drop down. Your drop down probably says daily Zoom and log out. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe forget password too
no
now.
spin.
No spin. Those are mine. That's my way of going in and looking at the questions and cleaning them up. That's another thing I just said to ChatGPT. Give me a way to go do the questions faster. I'm a very good business analyst, like a person who can say what the challenge is and how do I get the solution. And now with AI, you can build anything. So the last thing I'll show you just really quickly is the CRM. It's very basic in here. And as we go forward again, I'll talk to you about two things. What do you want in it? But the other thing that I'm going to do is make it dynamic. I want Bill to be able to have some of what he wants, but not force it on Steven, for example.
Great idea.
So I'll have a level of dynamic in it. And that's what you'll help me over the next few months is like, if you stick along, is as we build it so that it's good for everybody. Let me pause there because I'm at 3:30. I'm kind of trying to figure out how to do the
Yeah,
time, but
I do need to run, Neil. Thanks so much. Had somebody right at
no, I
3:30.
appreciate you showed up. Let's follow up later. Let's say the meeting is over for the moment, and I'm going to stay along and not hard stop it today. Um, uh, but any thoughts or questions anybody had? Anything I can help you on the first thing? Any meetings coming up?
Not right now. I think we're good. We appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for being early users. I really, really appreciate the feedback.
No, we
Yeah, I
understand.
came in late and I appreciate it. I really, by you going through the screens, I understood quite a lot. I've done something similar before with Salesforce, but this is a lot less complicated and I appreciate it. I think I already know how I'm going to apply it.
That's awesome. And every day I'm going to be here at 3 o'clock. And frankly, I might actually take less stuff to talk about each day and go and leave more time for questions. I might go, hey, let's talk about spin questions and only or something.
yeah, I think the spin questions are an excellent way to organize your thoughts. Because typically what I do when I'm working with an agency or just trying to build out a call plan, I break it up into two things. So one is a call, kind of like a stakeholder analysis slash call plan. And so my stakeholder analysis, it basically lets me get a feel for it's like 1 to 5, what's the heat? How much, like, one, we don't know them, five, they're our best friends or whatever. But then that all ties into the call plan, right? So what I like about this is just initially is just being able to have that flow in your mind of how the questions would develop, because I think it has to be sort of like a fluid document or a fluid way of approaching the conversation.
Yeah, I anchor it with the objectives, and that's something I'll, especially for people who come in here, I'll be driving a whole bunch more is how do you set objectives for a contracting officer or for a teaming partner, or so that way that objective you go, hey, I had a successful meeting, and they had a successful meeting too. But so many of us we walk in without an objective, and so we bounce around. It's a great meeting, but it's not a successful one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Kristen, I don't know if you had a question there or.
No, I like the simplicity of it, and there's not a lot of everything these days has mandatory fields, which sometimes you just don't have the information. So I like that you don't have the mandatory fields. I like the simplicity of it. I'm definitely looking for something to kind of capture a lot of it I keep in my head or just, kind of in my notebook. So this would be a great way to kind of capture that. So, and then just going along with helping you build it. I'm definitely excited about that. Are there certain days you said you'll be here every day at 3? Is that what are you looking for from the team? Is that what kind of support and on what kind of basis? Just
The
looking to see
well,
what you need.
let me just moving screens out of my way so I can see it. So I'll be here every day for at least, let's say, 120 days, right?
Okay.
And then at some point, Gus is a colleague of mine who I've worked with for a long time. Cecilia, I've worked with for 2018, and both of them really understand the whole direction I go with call plans. And so I might
Mhm.
stagger at different places if I'm off at a conference or something, but otherwise I'm going to be here all the time. The thing right now, like in the until it's really humming, whatever that state
Mhm.
is candid feedback from you. Like Bill said, what I really want is a CRM where I can put some stuff in. It's like, okay, let
Mhm.
me look at that, tying it together with what you identified as my personal preference is Google over Yahoo. Cleanliness. I just drive in, get the job done, and I can kind of get out. But your feedback and your wants, like if you look in and go, man, wish I really had this. And uh, I have a backlog I'll share with you guys. Maybe actually, what I'll probably do is put it up on a web page that's only accessible inside that just says, hey, this is what I'm building. If you see anything on here and you want it to be higher on the list, just vote
Vote
it
the
up or say it
feature.
up. Yeah. I
Okay.
probably won't give it a fancy vote. I'll just like ask today, hey, anybody got a favorite that comes up? Um, uh, and then the other thing is one thing I would love to get from you as you start going forward is if you're using it, you use it in a meeting or something, and you find that traction. I want to get testimonials from you. I would love to have
Okay.
testimonials that I can put on the website, so that as we grow, people are seeing that you guys like it, right? And that you're here
Yeah,
because
for
you like
sure.
it more than just here because you like me and you're helping me build a product. You're like, no, this really, I did have a good experience. That's the part I want to do because I got all sorts of people say,
Mhm.
hey, your training's great. I'm like, that's cool, but like this tool is designed to help you have successful meetings. And so that's
Yeah.
the last thing, Chris, and I might say as it relates
Yeah.
to this is give me a chance to help you on your meetings. If you're going to have a
Yeah.
meeting, um, let me know. Ping me. I mean, I want to keep it in here, but actually early on, I'm totally okay with you ping me anytime and go, I got
Okay.
this meeting. I'm running into this question because frankly, you're helping me build my tool by asking me that question and you
Okay. No,
won't.
that's great. Is there a way to I haven't looked, but I know there's ways to link things in there, but is there a way to actually attach documents so they're part of that?
If I rephrase that into a
There
technical
will
statement,
be.
I want a way to attach documents to my thing. Um,
How soon
I
will you
wasn't
have the
sure.
feature?
No, I wasn't sure because I was in there just very briefly, and I remember seeing that there was like an area for a link to link something, but wasn't sure if there was an upload.
Yeah, no, there's no attachments. I have a
Okay. Okay.
funny, well, so I definitely like the idea because um, I plan on eventually having the AI be able to look at attachments that you put up and make suggestions for how to do meetings. I mean, just
Oh, okay.
as long as you guys are here, if I look at a meeting that you're scheduling and I start looking at the people, then my plan is to go out with AI, scour the internet, and go, here's a strategic plan that relates to what you're doing. You might want to consider this document, or if I can
Mm,
figure out what you're trying to say, or the AI can figure it out, the AI should be able to go, oh, you know what? They have 5 priorities next year, and priority number 4 aligns to what I think your plan
yeah.
is. You might want to look at it. That's where I envision going is that this is being built by a guy who's been doing government sales for 20 plus years. I need to figure out how to get ChatGPT or AI to do what I do in my head for my customers.
Hmm.
And that's
Hmm.
where I want to go. So to your point, though, I wrote it down and just so that you guys can have fun being part of the journey, I literally am going to go to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I want to add attachments on here. How do I do this?" And I will tell you, if you're tracking AI, there's these tools like Cursor and other stuff. They're not good tools for the average person. They're good for developers. But ChatGPT has brought me right into code and Python. I mean, I am a developer from back in the day, so I understand it, but it's helping me move so much faster. And it'll
Yeah.
tell me exactly what to do. And it'll say, well, you need somewhere to store those. I'm like, oh, darn, where am I doing that? And it'll
Hmm.
be Amazon or Azure or something. But it'd be pretty cool if I could actually bring it back tomorrow. So it might take me days. It might take me hours. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
But I
No, it's
clearly get
definitely a
excited
great
about
thing.
functionality.
And then as far as like when you put your contacts in, and I think you've posted it in the past or someone did, it was links to kind of the org chart of whatever branch or agency that you're working with. I didn't know if AI could do that, where if you had a contact, could that then show that contact where they are in the organization?
Wow.
Yeah. So two.
Ask your AI friend.
No, it's funny. I'm smarter than AI on this case. I mean, AI's only had a couple of years to learn. I've been learning a long time. Um, no, I was saying for the tool, there's two perspectives, right? One thing I have
Okay.
to do in the CRM, be, because I tried to make the attendees minimalistic in what you're putting in there, so it doesn't
Okay.
overwhelm you. You fill it out, you get it done. I didn't ask you a lot. That might be a little bit more normalizing the data or standardizing the data.
Mm,
For example, which department is this person with? Which major command are
mm,
they with? Kind of thing. Because knowing that, I would go forward. Right now, I just say, I think something like, what office or
nice.
agency are they in? And I got to go off and discover it. But to your point, yeah, that's totally doable because
Attendees.
um, depending on the government's data, right? But that stuff is sitting
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
share org charts all the time, and so the ability to look in and pull
Yeah.
will be there.
That's what I was thinking because I got one of my org charts from you, and I was just thinking, well, if you're putting their name in, or like sometimes they have agency codes that could then pull, um, because sometimes you don't get an answer from the buyer, or the contracting officer. So it's, sometimes it'll give you someone else in that department that you can go to.
Yeah, my training today on LinkedIn touched on, finding 50 or 100 people in an agency around what you're trying to do or sell.
Oh, okay.
And so that'll be a little bigger lift for sure, but it's possible. And it
Hmm.
aligns to what I want to build in there. Is like, if I'm meeting this person, did you realize there's these 3 other people you might want to meet? And
Right,
eventually this
right.
ability to see an org chart,
And
that all
sometimes when
aligns.
I Yeah, sometimes when I have a meeting with someone, I'm like, "Hey, I have a meeting with this person. Would you like to join us?" I think you'd be able to really add value to the discussion. And so sometimes when you have those people, you can then tag them as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Well, let me wrap up for now. Cecilia, you're smiling. Did you have something else
Well,
or?
I'm smiling for two things. One, I'm thinking, you guys, what a great time to be alive. This is amazing. The whole way
Mm.
that we're engaging, everything. It's just, anyways, I'm really
Yep.
excited about
It's
it.
definitely making life a lot easier with AI. And I use a couple different forms, and it really does help when it pulls that data together. You have to go verify it, of course, but for the
Yeah.
most part, it really is outstanding. So I'm excited for it.
Neil, I had two real quick questions. One is when you were showing you can drop and drag the fields, can we
Yeah.
also hide that you're doing that for efficiency, but can you hide fields that you may not want to see on the sheet at the time? Like they're
You mean like on
just
the
something to
previous
think
one
about.
where I was showing that?
Yeah, so just something to think about. And then the other thing is there a way to tie that a particular call plan to my appointment on my calendar. So like it's coming up and I can just click straight into that plan.
Kind of like calendar integration.
Yeah,
Cool.
just something to think about.
I
I
like
was
that.
going to put a calendar feature on the dashboard where if you click the calendar tab, it shows all your things in a calendar format,
Yeah.
uh, which is really basic and easy. And I actually think integration with your calendar is fairly easy as well. Um, so I'll put that down. Yep, got it in my backlog.
You
I
could
like
do an
that
ad
idea
event
too.
for this too, by the way, for this meeting. You could just have an ad event thing that people could put on their calendars.
Oh, that's hilarious. I was struggling. You'd be amazed what I struggle with. Like developing this whole thing was fun and easy, and I did it while my kids played video games. But trying to get a Zoom invite out consistently, I'm like, you'd think I never used Zoom before.
Yeah, just got to remember all the things we used to do.
Yes, I
Awesome.
got other skills. Cool. Okay, I think we're good for now. 3 o'clock tomorrow. Try to add me to your calendar. That way, you just have the Zoom invite there for good.
Okay.
And again, ping me if you have any questions about particular meetings in particular.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Bye,
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone.
Sounds good.
Appreciate
See you
it.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.